Quick Crypto, bringing you quick Caspa news. Most Caspa holders are bullish. Of course, understandably, most of you are very bullish for smart contracts. The implementation of ZK EVMs, which will allow the deployment of smart contracts on Caspa. But from what I have seen, there are still many that seem to disregard or fail to understand the significance of smart contracts on Caspa, that scoff at the speculation, or dare I say confirmation, that Caspa will be able to generate millions of dollars a month, and that is only just the beginning. In today's video, we'll be giving a full rundown on everything we currently know about Caspa smart contracts, the recent developments and updates, and ultimately how long we will have to wait until we see smart contracts on Caspa, which, from what I can see, will be just in time for the second wave of institutional adoption that will allow trillions to quickly flood into the markets. And of course, we plan to make the most of these opportunities. If you are interested in learning a lot more, staying ahead of the game in the crypto and Caspa space with exclusive content such as trades, institutional research documents, and much more for a 7-day free trial, go down below, check out the Coin Factory CF Executive What page. Now, there are many reasons, why smart contracts are a game changer for Caspa. I'll be cycling through them throughout this video, but if I was to quickly fire off some of them right now. One is because of Caspa's lightning fast confirmation times, ultimately thanks to Caspa's block DAG architecture that will allow Caspa to handle the payloads as fast as they were processed, and also because of Caspa's block DAG architecture, multiple rollup payloads can be sent to Caspa blocks simultaneously, so smart contracts being confirmed quickly and at the same time. That in and of itself is already a truly innovative development, game changing in itself. But the second reason is even more mind blowing for us early Caspa holders. Listen very closely to this segment of Caspa Door's presentation at the Crypto Expo EU event earlier this month.
How can we then deploy smart contracts? How can we actually make Caspa visible to the entire world, right? Today, layer 2 solutions are being, let's say, taking all the fees, almost all the fees that are being processed on the layer 2. Instead of sharing it with layer 1, basically the layer 2 are taking the fees on the transactions, on the sequencing, and barely sends anything back to the layer 1 when they are actually using layer 1 as a DA, as a data availability, right? So layer 1 is like, in today's world, layer 1 is like a bank, a private bank, who has your money, but that layer 1 uses third-party solutions to actually process your money. So this leads obviously to lesser decentralization, because your transactions are being handled by third parties. And any, let's say, ordering of the transactions can be manipulated, theoretically, by that layer 2. Whereas in the future, with the based rollup solution proposed by Kasplex, those will be handled entirely on layer 1.
This was actually an event that Caspa won the most innovative blockchain award, and it's no wonder why. Effectively, Caspa's layer 1.5 will stop the abusive behavior of layer 2 operators in stealing the majority of the fees from the base infrastructure, so from Caspa in this case, which that behavior ends up leading to less decentralization. This is a very big deal, why Caspa is going to do so well, but this also means that these rollups will use Caspa for gas fees instead of their own coins, which will lead to more network usages, more fees for the miners, who are the ones who sustain Caspa's ecosystem, and therefore more demand for Caspa. So us early holders who are here before 10 BPS, the smart contracts, stablecoins, tier 1 listings, DAGNITE, and much more, we are in a prime position right now, my belief, not financial advice though, of course. Now, there are still many more reasons which I'll address later on in this video, but it is for these reasons so far why Chris Kang, the co-founder of Kasplex, stated a few months back that there is a fundamental problem with the centralization of this industry that will play into Caspa's end-game vision. That Caspa soon will be fast enough to compete with the bigger existing chains like Solana and Ethereum and whatnot following the Crescendo hard fork, and that existing layer 2 solutions might not want to give up their centralized sequencer schemes because they are already generating income ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars a month. However, they should know that Caspa, with its ability to verify ZK proofs, will become the infrastructure of the entire blockchain world. And it will still be decentralized, more secure, and just as fast, if not faster, because remember, Son Polinsky has a vision to scale Caspa to 100 ROP per second in the future. Caspa will soon slowly but surely start stealing liquidity and adoption from the other major chains. And again, once more, we plan to make the most of these opportunities. So if you're interested in learning exclusive content through trades, alpha information, and private logic, and so much more for free 7-day free trial, go down below to check out the Coin Factory CF Executive What page. But now in continuation, there are currently 4, or well, I should probably say 3 now. There are several development teams working on their rollups, their smart contracts. You've got Igra Labs, Kasplex Sparkle, and until recently you also had Caspa EVM, Kas EVM. The first I'll cover more about is Kasplex, who are working alongside the KEF to my knowledge. We already heard a little bit of Kasplex and what Caspa's bringing with the presentation from Caspa earlier in this video, but what they also announced in that interview showcase right here is that the testnet for ZK EVM will be released in roughly 3 weeks time, and the opcodes that are necessary for stablecoins will be functional in May, so roughly 2 months from now, which is huge news. In regards to the recent updates though, Kasplex have recently launched their devnet for the ZK EVM, and a public testnet will be announced at a later date, hopefully towards the end of this month, which is very promising to hear. And we're already starting to see the foundations being laid before our very eyes, as Chris Kang just showcased proof of a transaction sent to Caspa's layer 1 and a smart contract was automatically deployed on Caspa's layer 2, thus layer 1.5 is born. Very bullish stuff all around. It's coming to fruition very soon now. The next dev team though that's working on smart contracts is none other than Igra Labs. Igra have a significant advantage over the rest of the teams in my opinion, because 2 of their members, being Denis Mashkevich and also Mike Zak, used to work for DAG Labs, the team that originally researched and developed Caspa in the early days. There's a lot of belief behind this dev team, particularly from the community, at least from what I can see. I would argue the most. Their own testnet is scheduled to launch at a similar time frame to Casplex's, so around the end of the month hopefully, and they've also made many announcements and have taken part of several interviews explaining smart contracts and the difference of the ones coming to Caspa, why these ones are better. Ultimately, they have highlighted that existing blockchain programmability layers have already achieved significant adoption, but they see that they are deadlocked by compromises already made into scalability, decentralization, and security by being proof of stakes. So effectively, Igra is saying that all these proof of stakes, they are all the same project with a different name and a logo, and offer little to no benefit for users, institutions, or retailers alike. And in time, everyone will realize this. Thus again, Caspa will generate millions of dollars a month in revenue, stealing it from the other chains. Because also, by leveraging Caspa's planned support of synchronous atomic portability, Igra will enable interoperability between systems with any type of virtual machine, whether it be Solana VM, Move, or Wasm. Igra will allow smart contracts to interact seamlessly across different L2s, regardless of which virtual machine they use, which is a very big deal, allowing more dollars to come to Caspa. Thus again, Caspa will become the infrastructure for the entire blockchain world. There is another reason though why smart contracts will also be superior on Caspa, which Igra Labs highlights in this post in this article here, which is Caspa's ability to resist MEV, aka miner extracted value and or front running. Ultimately, MEV is when miners manipulate transaction orders to profit, or where they insert their own transactions to exploit price changes. Once more, thanks to Caspa's block architecture, so we can see that at the core Caspa is just superior. The parallel processing makes it very hard to front run, nearly impossible in fact. So therefore Igra can increase transaction volume without worry, benefiting Caspa miners through higher fees, which in turn strengthens the Caspa network. There's actually another team of devs called Zealous Swaps who are focused on building the first DEX on Caspa through Igra Labs, and Zealous have already just partnered with the #1 Chaos 20 meme token being Nacho, once more strengthening the belief and use case of Igra Labs, and smart contracts coming very soon. Now in regards to Project Sparkle, I have yet to hear many updates from the team. I know that Crypto Aspect, who is one of the core devs of Caspa, is in charge of this initiative, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more in the coming weeks, potentially after the Crescendo hard fork, where the devs can switch their focus from other projects from Crescendo into Sparkle. And now the final dev team, or at least they were until yesterday, is Caspa Kas EVM. The long and short of it is it sounded like they had a very promising team. They even had a roadmap. All they were waiting for was funding. However, due to a lack of funding and a month of silence, they have decided to cancel the Caspa EVM project. Caspa EVM are primarily looking at the KEF for funding which didn't come through, to which Johnny, the executive vice president of the KEF, did give an update regarding this matter, listing off a number of reasons why they didn't fund the Kas EVM. One of them being that they're too late to approach them. Another one being that Caspa EVM wanted to issue a secondary incentive token which doesn't align with the KEF, who would only support Caspa and wrap Caspa and so on. It is sad to see them go ultimately, but it doesn't mean that they are gone in the entirety. As we can see here, they did state that they may explore creating a decentralized application on one of the other layer 2s in the future. So right now we're getting into the thick of all the big developments coming up for Caspa and smart contracts, a lot more coming through in the next couple of weeks, right in time for a rally in my belief. The markets are looking up right now, M2 is going up as well. And also as an added bonus, remember the KII also exists and they have many projects from Gigawatt to Warp Core to Asset Mint to Olive Chain and so on that all are ready to be launched. All they're waiting for are smart contracts. The KII are actually meeting with the SEC Crypto Task Force, other agencies and institutions as we speak, spreading awareness of Caspa and these projects being built. That is a lot more institutional adoption that will come through in time, which will also play a part in Caspa generating millions of dollars a month and therefore increasing its demand and therefore its price. But as always, do your own research, and if you enjoyed, then why not come chill chat and learn more in the CF community, link down below. And remember though, don't be emotional, be logical, and I'll see you in the next one.